কলাক্ষেত্ৰ TEDx Kharguli Hills অনুষ্ঠান মাধৱদেৱ প্ৰেক্ষাগৃহত অনুষ্ঠিত হৈছে এই অনুষ্ঠান আমি পুনপটীয়াভাৱে গৈছো সেই অনুষ্ঠানৰ মাজলৈ
I never thought of working. Why? Because when I was born, maybe you know, I was born in a house full of riches, and from that riches my family went into rags. But the habit, as I was the youngest one, the habit still remained in between myself. And that lavish feeling I always had. So it happened so that my brother and sister, they used to work, come back from the office and cook food for me. And I used to do all the nakras. If I say that I'll not eat this and not eat that. And they used to kick me on my ass and say, okay, now come on, either you cook, you clean the house, or you know, we come back from office and we'll do that. Don't expect us to do that. And I used to challenge them. The day I start working, that day all your work will go for a toss. And they used to squeeze me, you know, by my ear and say that start working. We also want to see you working. It happened such that one day I used to lie also. Okay, I have to tell you all that I was a liar at that point of time. Because coming from a house, a rich house, and then staying in a hut, we used to stay in a hut in Hatigao. I used to feel ashamed to tell people that is my house. So whenever my friends used to come, I used to show them a different building. That is my house. That is my house. One day my sister caught me and she gave me one slap. Why do you lie? And I told her, when she slapped me, I told her, one day, you just wait for the day I start working, one day I'll have a house all across Guwahati. And you all will be jealous for that. So these things were already there in me, but maybe, you know, I was not too interested into working. But yes, I used to feel that I have to study, I have to reach a position, I have to pass my matriculation, I have to pass my graduation. And there, you know, there maybe sometimes I feel, you know, I repent that maybe a little bit more if I had done that time on my studies. Had I studied a little bit more, I could have done wonders. So it so happened I have to tell you all these stories. This is for the young generation. That when I passed my matriculation examination, I got a second division, and to get a first division, my marks was 11 marks lesser. So my mom used to, you know, scold me all the time that you don't study, all the whole day you play cricket. We used to play cricket right from the morning that time. So you do like this. So high secondary, I said, I promise you on high secondary, you know, higher secondary I'll do it. I'll show it to you. But it happened so, in higher secondary also, it happened the same, and I got a second division with 13 marks less to get a first division. And then we were in college and we were very naughty. We were regarded as the most naughtiest in the college school everywhere. People who live in Dispur, who live in Ganeshpuri still get shocked that how can this boy transform from that position to this, whatever he is today. And then when the graduation time came, I selected economics as honors, but as I told you, was always naughty. When I appeared for the test, there was to be a pre-test. I don't think nowadays it is there in the college, but that time we used to have to give a pre-test. So I appeared in a pre-test, and I failed. They didn't allow me. They said that you cannot sit for the honors. Why? Because when I was giving the exam, I need to tell you all this story. Why I'm telling you all, I will tell you all later on why I'm telling all this story. When I was appearing for the exam, I came out for a smoke. And once I came out for a smoke, I had answered there were 5 questions of 20 marks to be answered. And I answered one answer, I gave one answer and I came out. And there was a fight somewhere else for somebody else. And I went off with the fight. And I forgot about the exam, and by the time I came back, the exam was over. But my logic was there, and that professor, he still loves me like his son. My logic was that you take out my answer script. They took it out. and I got 17 marks. They said, you got 17, you are failed. And I had replied, see, the question was 20 marks, I got 17. Had I answered all the 5, what would I get? And believe me, and it is B. Borua College in Guwahati where you can go and verify. And the professor allowed me, the principal allowed me, okay, give this guy a chance. And so it happened that I passed out with my honors. Then I got married. I was in college, I got married. So my mom said, no more money, son, from the house. Because I was like, if you ask me, if you tell me, you will tell me to do something with love, I will listen to you. But if you try to dominate me, if you try to scare me, I retaliate. And this I was right from when I was very young. This was my habit. So when I got married, of course, my wife's parents, they never wanted her to get married to me. She was a Brahmin. I was a lafanga, not working, not doing anything. So nobody will agree. Today I will not agree to get my daughter married to somebody who's like that. So then I realized, no, I have to work. So my mom said, since you have got married now, you need to start working now. And I started a small video cassette shop. A video cassette shop with the money of 1200 rupees I had. And from there my journey started. And with that 1200 rupees, I started growing. I started saving. Hence I tell people, that from the day you start working, the very day you should start saving. I used to save 10 rupees, 15 rupees, 20 rupees in a month, in 15 days, later on in a day. It became like that. And that's how I grew. Then came the television network. The cable TV came to the country. Fortunately, unfortunately, I got into the cable, which is very interlinked with the video cassette shop, because earlier days we used to put a VCR and put a movie and we used to connect to the people and we used to show that. So that's how we started our work. And in the year 1994, Star TV came to India and I approached them for a dealership and they agreed to give me a dealership, and that's how my journey started. And after that, I launched maybe almost 200 channels, TV channels, all the national channels. I have been a part of it when they were launched. And in the year 2000, I started thinking, why not start a TV channel of my own? But how do I do that? It was too expensive. But we started in a small little shady hut, and Kaushik Nath and me, we used to use the camera. Today we see so many thousands of camera persons. That point of time I was the cameraman, he was the editor. It was like that. We used to do it ourselves. We didn't have anybody to do that. And we started working. And from there was no stop. We started working. And I used to always think, people start from zero, people reach to a figure. The world is like a cycle. You start, you go up, and you come down. But for me, it was different. I used to drive a ring. Do you all know, kids? You all might know a cycle ring. We used to drive cycle rings like that with a stick. We used to do that. And then once we tried, to put that stick on top and balance ourselves. And that's when we thought, a person, if you can come up, the longer time that you can stay on top is the level of success that you have reached. Because it's very easy to reach the pinnacle and then, fall. So my granny used to teach me. She used to say that earning money is difficult. But to maintain that money is much more difficult. It's not easier to maintain that money because money is like, it's today with you, tomorrow with somebody else. Then I used to think, then I added from there. What is the use of money? When this money can only spoil people, spoil the next generation, it's of no use. When I was young, I used to ask my father something and he was not giving me. I used to scream at my father, give him 10, 10 slangs I used to use, that you can't give me this, you are what not, I should not mention here. But later on I realized that it was good that he didn't give me. Hence I started working, hence I reached, where I am today. But what happens, you cannot do it with your children. You always want to give. You want to give it to more. But then I added something to that. And I added and I thought, earning money is not everything. You need to earn the respect as well. That is which will always remain. You will go off with your money in this world, but the respect that you earn will always remain back. I want to just give you all a small example now, When the government tries to privatize things, they sell off things, everybody starts screaming that the government has sold off this, government has sold off this. First time in the country, Air India was sold, bought back by Tata. Have anybody seen any negative remark in the entire country? No, we didn't see. Why? Because that man is respected. One day, a journalist had asked Ratan Tata that you are the original industrialist of India, but you are not the richest man of the country. Why? And his answer was that it was a question on Mukesh Ambani actually. Why Mukesh Ambani is the richest person? And his answer was, he might be working for himself. I work for all my people, not for myself. And that day, that line of his, it touched me so much, I too decided, that now onwards, whatever I do, this I'm talking about some 10 years back, this happened. And that day I thought, let my life also go in that way, that whatever we do now, we will do it for the people, we'll give it back. It's time for us to give it back to the society. We had nothing, we got it from this society, and it's time that we give it back to this society. That is how we work. One habit that I have, this is for the young generation, never give up. I don't give up. If I start telling you all my stories, it might take 2-3 days to complete. But I think where I have reached is only for the reason that I have never given up. I still believe, I tell whenever I'm called to some colleges, university to speak, I always tell that if I throw people from here on the Brahmaputra, if you think that you will survive, even if you don't know how to swim, you will survive. But if you give up, oh, I'm drowned, you're gone. So nobody should give up. You keep on fighting, keep on fighting, keep on fighting. You see, at the last moment, you will be successful. And I have tried that number of times. I have done that, and I have crossed the bar. Lots of times people have said, his chapter is over, he's finished, he's gone. But I never gave up. I always kept that fighting spirit on. So I reached. The other thing I always say, people, you don't need to do wrong to earn money. It's only that you need to do a little bit of hard work. If you do a little bit of hard work, you can earn money fast. You do one business, you are earning 1 lakh of rupees. You do 20 business, you will earn 20 lakh rupees at the same point of time. So my philosophy was, the life is short. If you want to earn more money, you want to do more work for the society, then you need to, do a lot of things together. Simultaneously, you need to do a lot of things together. So I tell the young generation now, dream big. Have you all ever thought, come on the crowd, I'm asking you all a question, have you all ever thought that if we would have got a lottery of maybe 1 crore, 10 crores, how nice it would have been? I think most of the people sitting here might have dreamt about that, But if I question here, out of this entire crowd, the matter of concern is that how many people went and bought that lottery ticket of ₹1? So I tell everybody, you need to buy the ticket to get that lottery. And in this case is that you need to work to reach the pinnacle. There is no shortcut to pinnacle. Like it is, everything that comes fast, goes off fast, is the same. And we don't need to be scared of anything. As we say, an iron cannot be destroyed. It can only be destroyed by its own rust. The same way a man cannot be destroyed by mankind. He can only be destroyed by his own self. So this values, these principles we have taken, and of course today, since I've got a chance to speak, I'll have to tell you another thing. I can see a lot of people sitting here who are non-athletes. I too am a non-athlete. Remember that. Though I was born here, I was regarded as a non-athlete in the beginning. But today, nobody dares to tell me a non-athlete because I fight with them and I question them. How much have you worked for the state and how much have I worked? And this had been, put into me by none other than Dr. Bhupen Hazarika. He had told me, keep on your good work that you are doing. One day people will start recognizing you. They'll start recognizing your work. So hence, I appeal to all my guys, all my friends, you start working. Don't think about all these things. People might tell you today, all these things, you're an honest man, you're this, you're that. But once you do work for the society, you see everything will change. So, I'll have to keep it short. Before I get over, I would really love to see some go-getters over here, sitting over here, who can calculate some of our ideas, feelings, and get into their works, get into their business, and rise out of here. It is only worth for us talking about these things, if somebody can take some positives from us. As I said, that success, story of success or the work of success never starts from a definite period of time. A person who is 50, 60 years old also can start his journey today. But there is no end to success. If I start thinking that, okay, I have reached the pinnacle, I don't need to do anything, my kids, my next generation, it's enough for them to eat and all, then I'm over. Then the story is over. So, I always say there is a beginning. The beginning of success can be from anywhere. But the end is nowhere. The end will go along with you on the deathbed. Till then, you need to strive. You need to strive to get more and more. This was all my principles. This was with what I used to work. And, of course, you need to do your work with utmost sincerity and without any egos. The day you start respecting your own work, you see your life will change, your business will change. You should never feel ashamed of whatever work you're doing. Today also when we travel by a car, a luxury car, and I see my cable dropped somewhere in the street, I stop from the vehicle, I get down and I put on the wire, I take it up myself and I put it back on the pole. Why do I do it? Because it's my property. I feel for my work. And this is what I think, we all need to do on their respective works. If you all feel for your own work, you respect your own work, there is no stopping. We are into diversified fields. We have a very huge family. And I know my family also cribs that they don't get time with me, I cannot give them much of a time. And I always tell my family, my children, that we have a very big extended family now. And we are working for them now. And we need to continue, we need to strive. We have to strive to see for their well-being as well. Because as they work for us and we have reached here, today it is my duty to work for them and give it back to them. So with these words, thank you so much for calling me here.